One story that is stuck so vividly in my head was a situation that happened to me when I was a teenager, and again due to purity culture. I remember putting on a pair of jeans, I was going to town, and I felt so good about myself. I felt like I looked good and I was confident. And then I had a family member tell me, "Oh, those jeans are too tight." And immediately I started thinking, oh gosh, they're too tight. Okay, maybe I shouldn't wear them. But then I was like, nah, I'm confident. I feel good, I'm gonna go out in them. So I did. While out in town, this family member said to me, "Oh, that guy over there, he's looking at your bum." Those words brought so much shame and guilt to me. I then felt so bad and so guilty for wearing those jeans because I had caused a man to look at me sexually. I had caused this for wearing jeans.
In purity culture with that, it led me to accept the first man who ever showed interest in me. It led me to it led me to it led me to overlook his addiction. It led me to overlook our unhealthy sexual relationship. It led me to degrade myself in believing the things he told me about having to think of other women in order to come home to me, that the dishes weren't done, and because of that, he was turned off. It led me to believe that these were things men thought, because I was led to believe that men are so different, so wired so much differently than women. They don't want the same things, and that they honestly are just as confusing as men try to say women are as confusing. Passing that buck to the point that you accept whatever lie they wanted to tell you about what they were thinking or feeling, and allowed me to be gaslit. It allowed me to be manipulated even in my marriage, past my youth and my upbringing, to believe all those things that really where my value was held. And if my value had just been seen, if I had been in a place growing up to where I was seen and heard as a person who, could go out and pursue a career, who needed to be an independent woman on her own, who could, do whatever you wanted outside of marriage, and marriage and purity not being the sole goal in life, because that is how it was viewed, it is the ultimate success, then I would be able to have created more boundaries for myself. I would be able to have seen what is healthy versus what is toxic, and I wouldn't have played so many mind games with myself and in my marriage because of purity culture.
People get this idea that purity culture basically just means you save sex till marriage. That is not what true purity culture is. It is a whole lot more than that, and it is so much more damaging just than a belief that you need to save sex till marriage.
As a woman, purity culture affected me, and affected me down to the values that I had, even for myself and my self-worth and what I brought to the table as a woman. I feel I only viewed myself as an object to be desired by men, but also that I needed to protect myself from those men because men weren't able to control their impulses. So it was my job to monitor how I dressed, how I acted, how I presented myself, my speech. It was all my problem because a man was incapable of controlling his own urges, so to speak. And so that was all put on me, but then just viewing myself as only an object to be desired and that this was man's greatest need, it was my responsibility to look pretty, to look feminine, to look desirable, so that a man would want to fall in love with me and get married and have a dozen children with.
For me, the two most devastating outcomes of purity culture would have to be my identity, for one, just being so completely wrong about it, thinking that I am basically all I am meant to be here for is to serve a man, especially say, and that's what I'm created for as a woman. That's my duty, is to grow up, get married, please a man, have kids to the man. That is my destiny. That is my identity. And the second one that has affected me the most would be the fact that it led me into a relationship that I should never have been in, that completely shaped my entire life for the rest of my entire life. I wish I could go back in time in some ways and change things, but then I wouldn't be here today talking about purity culture and fighting against that belief system if I hadn't been through what I've been through.